For 25 years, the EU-Mercosur trade agreement went nowhere. Negotiated, delayed, frozen, revived, and frozen again. And then, in the space of roughly 24 hours, it crossed the political line that mattered. That contrast alone tells you why this deal matters now. Negotiations began back in 1999 in a completely different world. Globalization was still seen as an automatic good. Trade was technical, not geopolitical. Europe assumed markets would open naturally, and power politics would stay in the background. Mercosur was viewed as a promising but distant partner, rich in resources and population, but politically fragmented. By 2019, an agreement in principle existed, but politics caught up fast. Environmental concerns, especially linked to Brazil under Jair Bolsonaro, collided with fierce resistance from European agricultural lobbies. France, in particular, became the institutional brake. The deal stalled, and for years it stayed on ice. What changed was not the text. What changed was the world. By 2024 and 2025, Europe's trade environment had hardened dramatically. US tariffs returned as a political weapon. Trade with China became structurally imbalanced and increasingly uncomfortable. Supply chains stopped being an abstract concept and became a strategic vulnerability. At the same time, Brazil's change of government removed one of the main diplomatic obstacles, allowing environmental language to be strengthened and political cover to return. At that point, the cost of not acting became higher than the cost of acting. So what does this deal actually do? It creates the largest free trade area the EU has ever entered. More than 700 million consumers. Tariffs removed on over 90% of bilateral trade. European exporters save billions every year. Industrial sectors like cars, machinery, chemicals and pharmaceuticals gain access to markets that were heavily protected for decades. For Mercosur countries, the deal opens Europe for agricultural goods and raw materials, encourages European investment, and integrates South America more deeply into global value chains. It also comes with EU funding for green and digital transitions, an explicit attempt to link market access with long-term transformation. This is not free trade as ideology. It is free trade as leverage. Opposition never disappeared, especially from farmers. European agriculture operates under some of the strictest environmental and animal welfare rules in the world. Mercosur producers do not have to follow the same production rules, even if their final products meet EU safety standards. That asymmetry is real and politically explosive. But the numbers matter. Beef imports, the most controversial issue, are capped at roughly 1.5 to 1.6% of EU production. Poultry and sugar quotas are even smaller. Safeguard clauses allow imports to be paused if markets are disrupted. Brussels added compensation funds, fertilizer duty cuts, and emergency mechanisms to blunt the impact. At some point, the argument stopped being economic and became existential. If Europe cannot absorb competition at this scale, then the problem is not Mercosur. The decisive moment came inside the EU Council. A blocking minority was within reach. France, Poland, Austria, Hungary, and Ireland opposed the deal. Italy hesitated. Then Italy voted yes. That single decision collapsed 25 years of negotiations into one political outcome. This deal is not really about beef or cheese. It is about Europe learning, slowly and imperfectly, to diversify power. Trade diversification is strategic autonomy in practice. It reduces exposure to US political cycles. It limits overdependence on China. It creates options. The European Parliament vote still lies ahead, and opposition remains loud. But once the Council moves, reversal becomes politically costly. The direction is clear. 25 years waiting, 24 hours deciding. That is Europe under pressure. If you found this analysis useful, like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps the work we do here at Western Relations and allows us to keep producing independent geopolitical analysis. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.